Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talk indeed. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that fam? What's good, fam? What's going on to all the beautiful Black Gold family members in the building? Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Another installment of the Sports Coma. We did an earlier rendition, which was supposed to be the draft, supposed to do a draft, but instead just decided to do like a Q&A. A lot of the family members were engaged and asking a lot of great questions. Man, we decided to just keep it rolling, man. So big ups to the beautiful Black and Gold family members joining us in this stream. Raymond Burks, who that to you, Raymond? Good to see you. Dominic, what up, Dominic? Who that to you, fam? 985G in the building. Revolt, what up, Revolt? All the family members. CJ, what up, CJ? Who that to you? DJ, CJ and DJ, who that to both of y'all? Torrey Shepard Sr., who that to you? Tramal says, I'm still surviving the pandemic, fam. You gonna make it through? We all gonna make it through. This ain't the first thing that ever happened to us. And for all you people out there that's shaking in your boots somewhere, man, stop all that, man. Stop all that. Stop all that and have some courage, fam, to understand that you are special and that you, like many other great and talented people, will make it through this. This is not the end of you. This is the beginning of you. This is the start of you. This is the brilliance of you. And the courage and the strength and intelligence that you muster out will end up putting you on a whole nother level. These trip ups or obstacles don't come to make us weaker. They come to empower us. They come to make us stronger. So in times like these, dive into thine self and develop the relationship or strengthen that relationship with the Creator. That's what that's called for, family. That's what's called for. I don't want to go on a religious spiel, but sometimes we do need to go there because sometimes we have to be reminded of that. It's not necessarily the doctors or those who know what to do. It's always a higher power that we answer to. Remember that, family. And I ain't talking about the government. We're going to keep it going, though, family. Who that to the gold, gold, black, and gold. Who that to you, fam? Die Hard Saints fans, good to see your family. Says Big Q, you rap pretty damn good. I can't take the credit for that one now, Die Hard Saints fan. That's not me, family. That's Black Suede, one of the guys from the show, along with Mozzie 5 and DC. And those guys, that is Black Suede on there. And he is currently working on the full rendition. So coming up soon, we had this stuff going on, and it kind of delayed a lot of stuff going on, this whole little illness situation that's sweeping the world. But we had a full rendition. It was a full 3-verse song that we will be releasing coming up soon after, as soon as we can get it done. Kelvin Washington, who that to you? Dominic says, preach, Rev. Big Q. Goose Sports, who that to you? Goose, good to see your family in the building as well, as all the beautiful black and gold family members chime in the building. I just think at times, fam, when so many people see things as a minus, you can see them as a plus, because a lot of things coming nowadays, they have a appearance, but they're not really what you think they are. And truth be told, very few things come upon us like this. It's always a precursor. It's always a warning sign, because those who like to plan and think they are the best of planners, when really the Most High is the best of planners, always like to plan. But there are blueprints or plans or books that you can read that bring light to everything. And if y'all interested in it, y'all hit me in the chat, and later on I'll reference some books for you guys to follow. Now listen, we'll put this out here to the Black and Gold family before we get into this whole talk, just to let the family members know that starting in April, there'll be another podcast that'll be coming from the PRO Media Network called On Q with Big Q. That'll be coming soon. That will not be a YouTube show. That will be a Patreon show. You have to join the Patreon, and also a Spreaker show, our Spreaker.com/thesportscoma. I'll provide those links in the description section if you're interested in watching or listening to that podcast. It'll be strictly a podcast, and we'll cover topics like that. It's outside of, it'll be entertainment, outside of sport and Saints talk like we talk about so often. But this is exclusively a Saints show that I like to talk about. It's called a Sports Coma originally, family, just a little backdrop, because I talked about everything in one show. But then also I just decided a few of the family members to niche it down, to specialize it a bit, and that's what we did over time. And it's been incredibly popular, and it's been taken off. And I think that's due to the fact that we're getting a lot of love from the beautiful black and gold family members that just show us so much love. And I have no recourse except to show it back and to continue to work harder for my people, for the beautiful black and gold family members that believe in me and support this platform. So I'd like to thank you guys, like I always thank you and welcome you in, and say your names and try to get to as many of your credits as possible. Very few, if any, people do that to show loyalty or love to their family base. Very few do that, but I take the time to do it because that's what's real to me. So thank you once again for these fantastic over 5 years of the Sports Coma, well over 500 shows. I think it's 506 right now. Over 100 live streams, which is when we started coming to YouTube. We started way before YouTube. Before we started on YouTube, we've been on YouTube for a couple of years now, but we were prior to this. But it was just podcast form, and it's good just to be here with the family. 500 plus shows, over 100 live streams, and we continue to power in on the topic. So big ups to the family members doing it. Die Hard says, tell them I said keep up the good work and don't stop rapping. Thank you, Die Hard Saints fan. Thank you, family. I'll let you know. Dominic says like up the stream, family. Thank you. Please hit the like button, family, upon entry of the stream. Please hit the like button. There'll be more family members chiming in on this one. Now, The first rendition, if most of the family members, some of our family members probably missed the first portion of it. What up, DeWright? Good to see my boy DeWright. Who that to you, baby? Out in Florida. You know, I know you. It's being pretty hectic out there, DeWright. Keep your head up, baby. Everything's all good. You know, it's all gravy, baby. Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat. Some of the family members that didn't see the first portion of this, it was originally supposed to be the draft show in which I do this is the first time I actually did a mock. This is a 3.0 mock. I did 2 prior mocks that were taped and then released. I had the idea to do a mock live with the family members as I did a 7-round mock version of the Saints. And this will be the scene. The first part of this was maybe 30 minutes ago, maybe 20 or 30 minutes ago, where it just turned into a Q&A, which is I just started reading down the lines, just started reading the chat, and family members had a lot of questions, and I did my best to fill in the questions. So that just shows you how organic the show is, how full of life the show is, that it tended to went in that direction. So I decided to break the show up in 2 parts. The first part was the Q&A. This time around, this will be the live mock. So thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for joining us in this version of the mock. Now, like I said, I did 2 previous mocks, and I'm gonna attach them after the finality of this video. But in this one, I'm doing it different. I'm going through a different site to get this one. It's called the Draft Network, and I'm gonna share my stream with the family members just to make sure that let's see here. Just give me just a second here, family. I'm gonna share the screen momentarily. All right, family, this is the stream here. Now, I decided to do a different mock this time around. The first one I did was, I think it was Saints fan or whatever. This time around, I'm using the draftnetwork.com draft machine to do the mock draft of the Saints on this one here. So as you can see, now, like I said, I invite all the beautiful Black and Gold family members to do their own mock and submit it to me at the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. That email, once again, is the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. So like I said, I want all the beautiful Black and Gold family members. You can do your own mock, submit it to me, and I will post it on our community section of our page. So all of the great Saints family, all across the Great Saints Think Tank, and we worldwide now, all over the globe, or sphere or plane, whatever you subscribe to, you know, we are here. Now, this is how you do it. You go in at the draftnetwork.com mock draft machine. Of course, I'll choose the Saints as my team. And of course, you then will go into 7 rounds. And of course, I would like it fast, because if I'm not picking their stuff, I don't, you know, whatever. And here's start draft. Now, of course, you go to draft, you can see to the left of the screen all of the selections that's being picked by the other teams. And on the right-hand side, it's the draft board of players that's available. Now, you can see, before I make my first selection, the several picks prior to my picks has Jordan Love, as the New England Patriots have taken Jordan Love off my hands. Denzel Mims, Justin Jefferson is gone, Xavier McKinney, Jeff Gadney, the cornerback, Thomas, the offensive lineman, and Christy Fulton, the defensive back from LSU. Now, of course, that leaves Grant Delpit there. It leaves Grant Delpit and a bunch of interesting options, you know. And there's a few. Now, remember in the previous show, a lot of family members said AQ. And it was asked by DLP. DLP asked me, said, if Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen, AJ Espinoza, and somebody else, I think he said Jordan Love was available. In this scenario, Jordan Love is not available. So I guess I would have to, I'm facing that scenario again. Now I'm seeing Grant Delpit. Now, of course, the Saints, now this is after all of the free agency done passed. The Saints done addressed the free safety position, or the safety position, period. But Grant Delpit's there. But you have Malcolm Jenkins, DJ Swearinger, and they made their choice. So if Delpit's there, it's very interesting. Now the Saints' position of need becomes, what is it? Edge rusher, perhaps linebacker. So I have an interesting option to make. Now I had a couple of family members was asking me, who that to you, Chad? Good to see you, Chad, in the building. And KT's in the building. Who that, KT? Welcome back. And a lot of family members, KT included, good to see KT in the building as well. KT said he liked gross models over AJ Espinosa. But, you know, this is an interesting scenario because Grant Delpit's there, J.K. Dobbins is there, Kenneth Murray's there, Pat Queen's there, AJ Espinosa's there, and Yatur Grosso-Matos is there. Not to mention T. Higgins is there, Jalen Rigger, Zach Bond. And I'm thinking to myself, good grief, man. This is a lot of talent to have at the 24th position. But if I'm the Saints, I know that they took Emmanuel Sanders with the pick. And it's a bunch of really tough choices. I'm an LSU man, and I'm looking at Pat Queen, saying Pat Queen is the future of the position. But Kenneth Murray is another interesting obstacle there, or person there. We can look at it. So do you take the inside linebacker, or do you go with the pass rusher and AJ Espinosa or Gross-Matos? And also T. Higgins there. But this is really interesting. So, like I said, on the left side, if you're not familiar with this draft machine, is the guys that have already been drafted. On the right side of it is the guys that have yet to be drafted. And as you can see at the top of the screen, those are where the picks line up. So, like I said, this is interesting. And I'll have to look at the Saints' biggest need right now, to me, in my opinion, is the defensive end position. You say, why, Q? Well, until they bring in a guy to help the pass rush, man, I can't ignore that. So with this draft, being that Kenneth Murray is there and Pat Queen is there, I hear you. With the linebackers, I hear you. But I got to go with a pass rusher, so I'm going to take AJ Espinosa there with that draft pick. KT's not going to like that pick. But listen, I need an edge rusher because we haven't addressed the pick. We need an edge rusher. Now, of course, we moving forward. As you can see, most of the people are coming off the board. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is about to come off the board there. And they're skipping the entire second round because, of course, you see Brandon Ayuk. He comes to the Bengals, get him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes to the Dolphins. Willie Gay goes to the Cardinals. You see, and Rashard Lawrence goes to the Falcons. Hate to see that. Troy Dye goes to the Raiders. So it's a few. And look at that. Michael Pittman's off the board. Even Chase Claypool is off the board as well. So we already into the third round, a late third round pick. So my first pick was to go after a defensive end and AJ Espinosa because I know that I need the pass rush. Now look who is sitting here on and when I need to take a pick. Look, family. Look who's here. Now, of course, I can look and say, you know what? We need some help at the offensive line behind the guys that we have because we really don't have much, or what have you. And then look who's sitting here. You got Bryce Hopkins out of Purdue. There's Jake Fromm, Sadiq Charles, Inu Benjamin, Van Jefferson's there, Amik Robinson's there, KJ Hill is there. But listen, who's that there from Oklahoma? Who's that man? Jalen Hurts. We need a quarterback, family. We need a quarterback. So with the first pick, I addressed the edge rusher because they need that help. And as it stands right now, the Saints have not signed the edge rush outside of Noah Spence. They did not get Everson Griffin. They did not sign Marcus Golden. So this is based upon the current needs right now as of today. That is March the 27th, 2020. As of today, this draft is valid. Now, Jalen Hurts would obviously be the charge, and I take Jalen Hurts. So my first pick in the first round was AJ Espinosa. And then we don't have a second round pick. So I take the third pick. Look at Jake Fromm goes to the Steelers. And KJ Hill to the Redskins. Thad Moss to the Bengals. He follows Joey B up there. So you got Kayvon Wallace to the safety. He gets picked up. Marcus Bailey goes to the Patriots. Nick Cole, the edge rusher. He from Auburn. He goes to the Rams. Brandon Jones, the Texas safety, goes to the Eagles. And look, A.J. Dillon, the Boston College running back. And look, right before I can pick, Lynn Bowden from Kentucky gets snapped up by the Baltimore Ravens. And now he's a weapon for Lamar Jackson. So, damn, I was looking and I was asked about him. I think it was KT in the building. Big ups to the family member. KT don't like it. I made him happy, though, with the Jalen Hurts move. Thank you, Chad. Who that to you, Chad? Thank you for that. Tramal says, let's take a chance on Jordan Love, Q. He was gone before I had a chance to pick him, old Tramal. Okay, now we in the 4th round, family. Okay, we're in the 4th round. Remember, the first pick was AJ Espinosa with that 24th pick in the 1st round. We don't have a 2nd round pick. The 3rd pick was, of course, Jalen Hurts was there in the 3rd round, so I got him. Now we're in the 4th round now. Now that I just addressed the quarterback of the future and the edge rusher who will impact the team this year, not some long-term option, what's left for us to look at? Well, there's a few options here at the linebacker position, if you could stare to look, and they got some pretty interesting options there in the 4th round. Now, Gabriel Davis is an interesting target out of USC, but do you want to take another Central Florida guy when you got one that's not producing? Now, Davis is good. He's good, but we might have been soured a bit to that. Now, Colin Johnson is another interesting wide receiver. He's not Devin Duvernay, who I really like Devin Duvernay, to be honest with you. I wish he was available. But if I take a look at the wide receivers, you got Tyler Johnson there. Oh, Devin Duvernay is there. How about that? So look at Antonio Gandy Golden is also there. So in the 4th round, we can find that highly productive wide receiver that can get behind the Mike Thomas, the Emmanuel Sanders. And of course, we have Traquan Smith behind that. Remember, we still need a playmaker there. Now, it's either with the 4th round pick, it's only 2 places I'm going to go to keep it real with you. It's either inside linebacker or it's either the cornerback position. So I go to the cornerback position. I look, and there are a few guys that are here that are very interested. Number 1, I like the guy from Miles Bryant from Washington. He's decent. Lamar Jackson is somebody I've picked on my prior mock draft because he's a big physical cornerback. He's about 6'3". A lot of people want to shy away from Nebraska because of Stanley Jean-Baptiste and his ridiculousness. But listen, this guy this guy's way better than Stanley Jean-Baptiste. This guy's skill set is way more mature than that. Bandy from Miami is interesting. Harrison Hand, I know him from Temple. He's all right. Guidry, interested. But Lamar Jackson and Dane Jackson from Penn State's a very interesting pick there as well. So you say, well, Q, the cornerback position, if you look at the Saints cornerback position as it stands, the cornerback position right now for New Orleans is pretty much set in my book. I'm going to just keep it real with you. Barring injury. Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins. And then, of course, with the signing of both Swearinger and Malcolm Jenkins, that pushes Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the slot. So your cornerbacks are Lattimore, Jenkins, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and then Patrick Robinson. And then, of course, you can have a draft pick or undrafted guy to compete there. The Saints do have an undrafted guy in the practice squad. So as far as I'm concerned, barring something really big happening, that's pretty much set. So if I look at it, what's a bigger need for me, the cornerback position or the linebacker position? So I would readily say the linebacker position to me is a more interesting position to look at. So, man, all I could tell you, family, is that I'm thinking about going with the linebacker, to be honest with you. And I think that's probably what I'm end up. Well, I'm sorry, not the linebacker position. Wide receiver. What am I talking about? I'm going to go with the wide receiver. And the guy that I'm going to take, and I know I've been talking to y'all about it because that's how I kind of talk it in. I'm going to take right here. I'm going to go ahead and take, hold on here. Oh, man, it's so good because they got good ones. Tyler Johnson is special, man. Devin Duvernay is awesome. And Antonio Gandy Golden, that's special, man. It's so many good ones. But I like Tyler Johnson. What he can do, very productive, tough. Duvernay is speedster. He can, man, damn. But I tell you what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to go with Tyler Johnson. That's what I'm going to do. As you can see right here, I pull up his assessments right here, and you can see his size. He's 6'2". The dude is very special, man. He has no red flags. The final evaluation you can see is Tyler Johnson has been a polarizing prospect with his clear on tape, his ability to win in the contested situations, physicality, route running technique. With that said, it's below average separation and quickness, long hand. But this guy, look, despite that, this guy is a terrific weapon underneath. That's why I'm going to take him. And I'm going to take Tyler Johnson there. So there you go. Tyler Johnson is the guy that I selected. I know it took me a minute, but I finally got around to getting it. But I like Tyler Johnson there. Don't get me wrong. Gandy Goldman, Devin Duvernay was another guy I took in one of my previous drafts. But hey, man, Tyler Johnson's ability, he will be the perfect slot weapon for you. And of course, Lamar Jackson comes off the board soon as a couple of picks before I was going to come back to him over there. So obviously this pick in the 5th round would be a pick where I have to look at the secondary, right? A lot of people say, Q, you got to get a secondary guy in there. Perhaps. And Dominic says Devin, dangerous with the catch. Either one of those guys could really work. I like Johnson because his route running, he's not the fastest thing in the room, but underneath like that, you want somebody that's sure-handed that can really catch the ball and make things happen. So that's why I took Tyler Johnson. Very interesting. I watched him on film. Devin Duvernay all day, man. But when it come down to that I just like what the guy brings. Now going to the cornerback position, there are a few cornerbacks available. Miles Bryant from Washington is an interesting prospect, fits well in the 5th round. Dane Jackson from Pittsburgh, very physical and as well. He's interesting. And of course, you go down the list and you see a few more guys there. Or maybe perhaps we go inside linebacker finally and get that linebacker to pair with Demario Davis. Now you have guys like Muhammad Berry from Nebraska. It's all right. I'm not really sold on him. Francis Bernard from Utah. I watched footage on him before. Not familiar with Kamal Martin of the team. So I'm not terribly in love with some of these guys. Michael Pickney, I watched him play. He was all right as well. So, that when you go back to kind of look at who's available on the board, perhaps you take an offensive lineman there that can help you, or perhaps you take a tight end. Now I heard of Harrison Bryant before, 6'5", 242. He's another dude that's interesting. His thing is, for his tangibles, Florida Atlantic guy, come from the same school as Trey Hendrickson. They says that his hands, he's rock solid here. He's not blessed with the biggest mitts, but he's a sure-handed receiver. Move piece only in NFL, at least to start. Have hard time seeing upside to put him into a condensed set or whatever. He has the contested ability to show some pleasant awareness, the bump and fight for the ball, but he's very sure-handed. Doesn't have a lot of speed with this one, but you're looking at the board and you're saying to yourself, we could use a developmental tight end that can come in and help as well. Now, also, another thing to be aware of is the fact that the Saints could be looking at a running back that can help out as well, being that you have a guy like Elvin Kamara that could possibly hold out. If that happens, would you be prepared to bring in a running back that can help you in such a situation? Patrick Taylor is an interesting option here. Josh Kelly out of UCLA. Darius Anderson, Rico Dowdell from South Carolina, very interesting as well. JJ Taylor, I heard of him. But, I think right at this juncture, like with that 5th round draft pick, you want to go at that linebacker position and try to see if you can find somebody to kind of help you with the linebacker position in the 5th round. So I see a guy like Muhammad Berry. I remember Muhammad Berry, physical guy, excellent burst from sideline to sideline, doesn't labor in space, can make plays all over the field when he sees it. His cons is he lacks his lack of length shows up in a lot of film. I mean, he's smallish linebacker, but the Saints don't have a problem with smallish linebackers, just as long as the guy can play. And I say he's an inconsistent finisher because of his narrow tackling radius, needs to keep himself free in order to save impact players. I mean, he has a little trouble shedding blockers, a physical SOB, but it works to his detriment plenty of times, often overruns pursuit lanes and is patient in his reads. But you're not going to find a perfect player at that position. So, let's see here. For Francis Bernard, he don't even have a picture. So listen, man, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look at overall as let me see here. Overall position here, whom I would take. And you gotta look at the offensive lineman in my book. I think we could do better by taking the offensive lineman here and kind of moving forward. I still want to get that lineman. I still need a lineman that can help the team. And Cleveland from Florida, this dude, I heard of this dude before. This dude ever pretty good. 6'3", 305 pounds. Oh, no, not Tyre. I'm told it's wrong. That's the wrong one. Justin Huron. There you go. 6'4", out of Wake Forest, 301 pounds. He says he's enough length to win outside the NFL. He's effective uses it to elongate his opponent's path to the quarterback, pushes with fairly consistent timing, and does well to get his hands placed in pass protection. He finished the ability to frame pass rushers initially and did not allow a sack in 2017. Does well to remain patient and keep himself in position to stay square. Says as a run block, he needs a little help, but his best trait is pass blocking. He needs to work on his power and control, and he did have an injury before, but the evaluation is pretty positive on him. As he says, positive. He's a work in progress and protection in terms of how he frames rushers and keeps him at the end of his reach. He's patient with his footwork and all that kind of stuff. So in essence, you might in the 5th round, you'd be looking at getting a guy that could probably help you out. But, like I said, man, in the 5th round, you're just looking for depth at this reason, at this purpose. And I probably would definitely go with the offensive lineman, Huron here. I'm going to take Huron here to move in that position. Okay, so we're going to move on to the 6th round and the final pick for the Saints. And a lot of these guys are still there, and I'm probably going to look for a secondary player, perhaps, there. Or I might go with another wide receiver because it is deep. This is deep. Like I said, I want to take an offensive lineman because I still feel like we need a development lineman now. Okay, now we're in the 6th round, and this is the Saints' final pick in a round. And Tyree Cleveland is there from Florida, interesting there. Juwan Jennings from Tennessee is interesting. Cornerback Neville Clark from UCF, Central Florida. Dane Jackson from Pittsburgh, who I'm high up on. I can't believe Dane Jackson's still there. I can't believe Dane Jackson. I'm gonna take Dane Jackson. That's a good move to get him that way up in the draft. 6 feet cornerback, pretty physical cornerback. And he need a little work on his ball skills. But this dude, I watched this dude playing several contests, and I like what the physicality a guy like Dane Jackson brings. So I will take that. That will be the final pick. The computer will run out the rest of them. Dominic's has been Vector from Ohio State. DLP says Cleveland. Okay, I hear you. I know Cleveland. A lot of y'all wanted me to do double wide receivers in this one. Lavert Hill. Lavert, I don't think Lavert. Yeah, he was available. Lavert Hill was available. I didn't see him now. I must have missed him from Michigan. Yeah, Lavert Hill was actually there. But Dane Jackson to me too was not a bad choice. So here's pulling up the finalization of the draft here for me. Of course, let's see if we could pull it up and I can get just the Saints draft here. Okay. Maybe I can see, yeah, my picks. Okay, here go my picks. This is what my third 3.0 mock looked like. Of course, on the back end, I probably could have went a different direction with the offensive lineman. I just feel like right now the team doesn't have any developmental linemen right now. So this is what my 3.0 mock looked like for the Saints after free agency. AJ Espinoza from Iowa sits on top of the draft at the 24th. Then in the 88th pick, the 3rd round pick, Jalen Hurts, baby. So we get the pass rusher that we need to plug in behind Davenport and give a guy that has some experience in pass rushing, some successability at doing it in college that can bring it into the pros. Jalen Hurts, who's a career winner in college, who can come in, provides that leadership, that the ability, that playmaking ability, the fastest guy on the field, natural born leader, success resume of nothing but success, winner of like 35, 40 plus college games in his 4-year career. The guy's a winner. I respect him. I don't care if he's 5'11". Guess what? We drafting quarterbacks smaller than 5'10". Look at the guy in Arizona. And with the next pick, the 130th pick, I took Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota. So not only did I address the edge rushing by giving the Saints defense an edge rusher when Davenport goes down, the team with the rest of those guys, but Jalen Hurts, the future at the quarterback position. Tyler Johnson is a slot man for the ages for the Saints, so I give him that weapon to play. I give him an offensive lineman who can come off who can be a developmental offensive lineman off the bench. And then toward the back end, a guy like Dane Jackson, big cornerback, physical from the University of Pittsburgh, that can come in there and learn behind guys like Marshawn Lattimore, guys like Janoris Jenkins and the likes. Of course, a lot of people say, Q, where the linebacker at? I just didn't like the linebacker at 169. If there was one that I actually liked, I would have took him. I think Justin Heron was probably a little bit better. Or perhaps what I could have did, knowing that some of those wide receivers would have been available for me at 169, I might have took a linebacker there. So we'll go back on the 3.0 in the mock draft. And that's pretty much what it looks like. Now, remember, Family, this thedraftnetwork.com, the mock draft machine. You could do your own. Take a picture of this page and or just text your picks or what have you. Send them to me at the PRO Media Network at gmail.com, and I'll make sure I post them or have one of our team members to post them on our community section of the page. So that so much is my mock draft. Espinoza, Hurts, Johnson. You can't spit at that. Now, the Huron pick, you could be, we could do a little bit better. And Dane Jackson possibly, but I like Dane Jackson as that pick. That's value there. But the top 3 picks that are really impactful, the Espinoza, the Hurts, and the Tyler Johnson, those are big picks. Johnson fills in well at the 3rd wide receiver position. He'll battle with Traquan Smith. Remember, Tyler Johnson's highly productive. He's the Minnesota Golden Gophers all-time wide receiver leader in terms of catches. The guy's really something else. Physical. He's not a speedster. That's not his thing. If I wanted that, I went with Devin Duvernay. Tyler Johnson, sure-handed, perfect route runner, and the guy is special. So I added him to the team because I think that he'll bring value there, and the other 2 are just developmental. So let me go ahead on and switch back to the live stream, and that is my 3.0 mock draft to the family. So DLP asks about an offensive lineman. You got one? Chad says is I can only pray for a pass rush. LOL. That's just not seems Sean's mentality, but that's what we need to win the rotation of those guys. Remember, I've always said you come at people in waves. It's always pass rushers in waves and waves and waves is my mentality. And remember, Sean Payton he's had the propensity to kind of give Dennis Allen rights to the draft. He will, if AJ Espinoza, listen. Espinoza is high on the Saints board. He's considered by some the top. He's the 2nd or 3rd best pass. I've heard people say, and scouts recommend Espinoza as the 2nd best pass rusher in the draft behind Young. And then, of course, people talk about the pick Gross Amados, which is what like KT was talking about. He likes Gross Amados from Penn State better than Espinoza of Iowa, which is fine. Some people will say you're splitting straws. Some people will say one's better than other. But I've seen Gross Amados play, but I'm favoring Espinoza because I think, I watched more film on Espinoza. He just pops off the film. Now I've seen Amados. Don't get me wrong, Gross Amados. I've watched him play, but it's just for whatever reason, I like Espinoza's skill set. It pops off. And then the thing is also, remember this, family. If this did occur, Espinoza then will have the ability to be a guy that can be your 3rd situational pass rusher who will play basically part-time minutes behind Davenport and a guy like Cam Jordan. Now, what he will do is he'll provide a edge rush, and he'll be fresh enough to give Davenport the recommended snaps where he don't have to be, you don't have to, you can kind of control the snappage, as it were, where you can basically put these guys and get more value out of a Davenport. You can't give Davenport the full bevy because he can't handle it. The last 2 years he's been hurt. And even though he's there, I still say you need a lot of help. And it was telling at the end of the season because when Davenport went down, the Saints could not replicate what he was doing prior to the season, coming off the edge, not getting the sacks, but almost getting the sacks. There was no edge rushing from his side of the field. When he went down, no one came in and could recreate what Davenport was doing. And I've said that before the season started, that you cannot trust Trey Hendrickson there. We couldn't trust Trey Hendrickson there last year. He was a backup and still missed half the season due to injury. The same thing with a guy like Granderson. He's too much of a question mark. Same thing with a guy like Noah Spence. Too much of a question mark. He has all the talent in the world, but can he stay on the field? If Noah Spence was all that, then when the Saints signed him last year, why didn't they let him play? He wasn't hurt. He was a healthy scratch. I'm like, why? Why not see what he do? But with a guy like Espinoza, You know, that could help you. The Jalen Hurts move is simple. You need a futuristic quarterback, and the guy just happens to be, he could do everything Taysom Hill do except for lower his shoulder and run over people like Taysom Hill. I wouldn't recommend Jalen Hurts do that. But he don't need to do it. He can run right around your ass. So, I mean, like I said, I think it's a solid pick. Thank you there, DLP. Appreciate you. He says, like your picks, buddy. Thank you, fam. Dominic says Tyler Huntley from Utah will be a great undrafted pick. DLP says you still have guys as undrafted players. That's right. And we always get the best of those. Michael says, what website for the mock? Once again, the website is thedraftnetwork.com. And then look for the mock draft machine. Once again, it's called thedraftnetwork.com. I could please one of our people put that in the chat, please. One of our moderators or one of our family members, put that link in the chat for the family members. It's called thedraftnetwork.com/mock draft machine. And then you can do yours, and make sure you send it to the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. And, staff will overlook it and they'll post it up on our community section. So DLP says NFC South is going to be tough this year, no doubt. DLP says Espinoza is big dude as well. He isn't. He said he isn't let these. Okay, what's that? Espinoza's big dude as well. He's a big dude as well. He isn't like these OT push around. No, he's a big guy, very physical, high motor, and can get to you. Get to this. He can get sacks. The guy is good. Now, a lot of people would say that he didn't play against the bomb competition, but you can only do what you can do against those you played. And KT said that he had off outings against other teams as well that played. But like I said, you're not counting on him to be a freaking Joey Bosa over there. Remember, you're not counting on him to be Joey Bosa. All you need is the guy that fires off the edge when Davenport's not in there. He's your third best pass rusher to keep the pressure on. We need pass rushers on this Saint team. We do. That helps out the defense. I think we're getting away from that. A lot of people looking at the secondary, and that's fine. But you got to have that power up front. You've got to have that guy that fire off the line and get to the quarterback pass rusher wise. And Davenport, we can't count on Davenport. And remember, Cam got hurt last year too. He had a groin injury. He was playing through a groin injury the entire playoffs, which explains why he was the reason why he wasn't so effective. So remember that. We need that. We don't have any serious pass rushers beyond our starters. Seriously, we need that. So in the draft, and this is in a world where I'm thinking in my head that if we don't sign a guy like Everson Griffin or a guy like Marcus Golden and AJ Espinoza falls to you at that position, you take him. Now the question is, does a guy like Gross Amados fall to you at that position? It's very serious that Gross Amados from Penn State could fall to you there. Where does he fall on the Saints board? Let me tell you something. Everybody in all these gyms have these pass rushers high. They got these guys on their board because they have the ability, the skill to get to the quarterback and get sacks. That is big. Interception, cornerbacks or defensive backs that get interceptions and defensive linemen that get sacks. Those guys are sought after in college and in the pros. If you're fortunate enough to be either one of those guys, you're going to be a very rich man for a while, for the rest of your life if you're not to do with it. But yes, my mentality now is that we've done a good job getting Malcolm Jenkins here to get experience, and also DJ Swearinger. Not to forget that we did get Dietrich Nichols from the XFL to fill in at the cornerback position. We haven't said too much about the linebacker position, besides the fact that the Saints did say that Alexander Zaloni is healthy and that they read up with Kiko Alonso, who needs to get healthy. But the Saints, definitely in the linebacker position, is something the Saints are going to look at. And my thing is, you signed David Onyemata. That's the only thing you did as far as defense goes. But it would be defensive line goes. But it would be interesting if they are working behind the scenes to see what Everson Griffin wants, freeing up the money and go and get him, because he would be a big piece. That would put you over the top. in terms of getting to the Super Bowl. There would not be one person in the NFL that says the Saints are ready for the Super Bowl now. They have the pass rushers. They've got the experience on the defense now. Malcolm Jenkins is coming here to win another Super Bowl. He coming here to win another Super Bowl. And so is a guy like some of these other veteran guys. They come here to win a Super Bowl here. Drew Brees supposed to be his final year. I don't think it'd be. I think he'll play next year too. Contract-wise, looks like it. A lot of people not talking about it. I'm just saying. But the reality at the end of the day is, with the young people in the draft, you want impact players that's going to come in and start. And that's what the first 3 picks, top of my draft is. The bottom is developmental guys that can help you. But the guy like AJ Espinoza, there's a spot waiting for him. Jalen Hurts, there's a spot waiting for him. A guy like Tyler Johnson, there's a spot waiting for him. So I took players, and of course, the tight end is another position you can look at, but I took players I knew that there's an opening and a need for them right now. The situational pass rusher, right now, that guy can start in that position. That slot wide receiver, Johnson, right now, he can get it. The backup quarterback position, right now, Jalen Hurts can get it. So I put in players that have impact right now and guys that are highly productive. So that's what my draft looked like. Remember, family, y'all can feel free to do your own mock draft as well. I'm going to say it again. The website is thedraftnetwork.com/themockdraftmachine. That is thedraftnetwork.com/mockdraftmachine. And you can do your own mock. Send it to me at the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. That's the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. Show me what you thinking. And if you agree with my mock, let me know in the comment section. Thumbs up. Please feel free, family, while you're still in the stream, to hit the thumbs up button as well to support the platform. And remember, and that'll be fine. But remember, tomorrow, fam, just to let you guys know, tomorrow we got a special guest coming on the Sports Coma. Coming on the Sports Coma tomorrow. We'll have a special guest coming in to answer questions on the Saints and join the Great Saints Think family. It was arranged, and we'll have some guests, and we'll be doing stuff like that coming up over the next, I guess, 8 or 9, 10 days or so. We'll bring in some guests to come and talk to the Sports Coma family. So Saturday, tomorrow at 3:00, the show will fire off, and we have a guest that'll chime in around 4 and to answer questions about the Saints and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll have that set up for you tomorrow as well for Saturday. It'll be a beautiful show, and I invite all the beautiful Black and Gold family members to chime in. Tramal says Emmanuel Sanders is coming to win a Super Bowl. No doubt about it. Emmanuel Sanders is coming to win a Super Bowl. He was in the Super Bowl last year. Malcolm Jenkins is coming to win a Super Bowl. These guys are coming down here to put the Saints over the top. Everson Griffin would be that piece that puts us over the top. Who that to you, Donovan Grayson? Said, I love the Hurts pick, but he would be the third QB. Taysom is definitely a number 2 this season. We put a first tender on him. We'll have to pay him $5 million to pay him. Not so much of a bad pick, but remember the parallels between a guy like Jalen Hurts and a guy like Taysom Hill are very similar. I've seen mock drafts that actually compare the two. I don't see how you can do that. In my opinion, I think Jalen Hurts is an actual quarterback that has a skill set of everybody. I mean, he's what Taysom Hill's trying to be. Taysom Hill is trying to be what Jalen Hurts is. I'm just keeping it real. Once Jalen Hurts gets into the NFL, you don't think Sean Payton is going to try to use him in a special way where he's a runner and have 3 quarterback packages where he lines up? You can do that with Jalen Hurts. Remember when the Saints used the 3 quarterback play where they put Drew Brees at wide receiver and the cornerback didn't even guard him? Now imagine the Saints use the 3 quarterback position. They got Jalen Hurts. He slides out the wide receiver. Taysom Hill slides out somewhere else, and Drew Brees is out there. You don't think that Jalen Hurts can catch that touchdown? I'm telling you, man, you can do a lot with Jalen Hurts, and he's a real smart dude. He don't come in here with no problems, no issues. He is a winner, and you want guys like that on the team. So, thank you, Donovan. Big ups to you. Dominic says, is the guest P. Thomas. No. The guest is a reporter from the Who Dat Dish. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Who Dat Dish electronic magazine that covers all the great Saints talk. We have a special reporter that'll be chiming in with the Sports Coma tomorrow. So be there and we'll go over with it. Now you'll be answering questions on the Saints as well. And just more of the same going on. So we'll have other people coming in too in the next, I guess, 8 or 9 days that'll be coming on the show as well. So just be looking out for that, family. Trying to do a few things here. Got a lot going on, trying to do a few things. And, a lot of people got some time off and they got some, their schedules kind of paused and they got an opportunity to kind of ride in. So, that's what it is. Michael says, he said he just did his mock. All right, Mike, when you do, the PRO Media Network at gmail.com, the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. Who that to you, General Smurf 009? Who that to you? Thank you for joining the stream, family. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and welcome to the Great Saints Think Tank. Now, once again, family, I'm going to share the screen with you and we're going to go over the draft, my mock draft I did. That's pretty much what the show is about. Is the fact that we did the mock draft, the 3.0 mock for the Saints, the full mock, and it is available here. And this is what it looks like. My 24th pick this year was AJ Espinoza from out of Iowa, very highly productive player. Let me see if I can pull up some stuff about Espinoza. There he is, 6'6", 280-pound junior out of Iowa. You can see that a lot of people rank him as a 5-star project. His best traits is power at point. He doesn't have any red flags, and he's compared to NFL comparison as Trey Flowers. He's been a dynamic defensive playmaker across the last 2 seasons at Iowa, racking up over 30 tackles for loss and 22 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 7 pass deflections. His blend of length, devastating power, technique, and urgency gives him a chance to do the same in the NFL. Espinoza is a tailor-made fit for the Patriot style of defensive lineman, where length and heavy hands to control at the point of attack are required. Overall, Espinoza is an ascending prospect with exciting physical tools, production, and technical refinement that projects him to be an early starter in a 4-3 alignment, but he has the extension skills needed for 2 gap duties as a 5 technique. Espinoza has the upside to become a pillar of an outstanding front 7 at the next level. So 22 sacks over the last couple of years for AJ Espinoza. Very talented player. Big guy, 6'6", 280 pounds. And man, we'll love to see this guy come to the black and gold. That he fell to you there, man. I'm telling you, Sean Payton will definitely take him. Next pickup we have is Mr. Jalen Hurts, 6'1", 218, senior out of Oklahoma. Of course, we know him best by coming from Alabama. You can see all of his traits. Some of the scouters put on there that his decision making has some nasty lapses when working through extended plays. We'll see more commitment to taking profits. A lot of these people, I know I can read them on Jalen Hurts. I listen to him on other things. But listen, I've seen the guy. His mobility is excellent. His pocket awareness, he has good pocket awareness. He can improve it. He got really good arm strength. He throws a tight spiral. I mean, his anticipation, meaning he can work through it. That's something that Sean Payton can really help him with. Now, you can see it there and operating where he don't take off, and he got better. Like when he went to Oklahoma, he improved his anticipation skills and his ability to see the pocket. His mechanics are good. He can work on his footwork, really light, and the dude is a plus. Now, he has some stuff where he doesn't look the part, but it's more so than others. And of course, you look at what they say. The summary is Hurts is a transfer from Alabama who steadily progresses as a passer, still has limitations, but improvement has shown over the last 3 seasons is notable. The arrow is pointing in the right direction. Hurts is a perfect day 2 QB in today's NFL, where he can shine via extended plays, mobility, playmaking ability, comfort off script. Hurts' general accuracies may temper his overall ceiling, but he's a developmental starting caliber. Listen, Jalen Hurts, man, I don't know what they take on. Jalen Hurts is a win. That's all I've watched Jalen Hurts play. for years as an LSU man playing against Alabama. The guy is very talented. He's a leader. He has some stuff that needs change, but he is more upside than any of this other stuff these fools talking about. Jalen Hurts is the type of quarterback that they foaming at the mouth for in the NFL. You take a guy that's 5'10" or 5'9" or whatever he is from Arizona, and this dude 6'1", fastest dude. This type of athlete, leader, control the ball down the field. The guy won at the highest levels against some of the most fierce competition in the SEC. Had high success. Now he did lose his job to Tua for that season, but at the end of the season, Tua couldn't get him over the edge to put Jalen Hurts in there. He helped him win the championship. He left the next year, took Oklahoma to the college football playoffs. Got knocked off by LSU, like I said, but everybody did. But he is a special talent, and if you get this guy as a quarterback, man, watch out. All the people talking that shit about this man, the lower his draft potential so they can get him bottom out. But listen, Jalen Hurts, man, you get Jalen Hurts on your team, you're doing something. Next dude, Tyler Johnson, real productive dude, 6'2", 205. This dude is a special football player. He makes the contested catches. He don't have the burst or the speed and all that kind of stuff. This dude is a slot man who makes the tough catches, who finds the openings underneath, sit down, and he's the type of dude that has that strength. He can extend the play, and the dude is incredibly productive. Route technician that does it well to set up his breaks, create leverage despite lack of burst and agility, uncovers quickly, outstanding in contested situations where ball skills, body control, physicality, and ability to win through the contact shine. Impressive ability to go get it. He got heart. Despite not necessarily having the most size or length, terrific ball tracking skills and adjustments to the football, wins in the air, and frequently climbs the ladder to snatch the ball. Production grew every year in college with back-to-back 1,000-yard and double-digit touchdown campaigns to finish his career. Play strength is top-tier trait. Now, they're going to say he lacks. His cons are he don't have that explosion, but he's not a speedster. Now, they said his final evaluation is that Tyler has been a polarizing prospect. What is clear on tape is his ability to win in contested situations, physicality, and route running technique. With that said, his below average separation quickness and long speed suggest that contested catch points will be norm for him at the next level. If given the release from the slot, Johnson should find production despite some of his limitations, but he will likely have struggles separating against NFL corners and man coverage. I have absolutely no bones about it that despite his speed deficiencies, he was still able to make things happen in college, doing what he did, double-digit touchdown, over 1,000. I mean, this guy was absolutely terrific. So what does it say about a wide receiver who they say doesn't have the ability to separate from cornerbacks, but yet he's still catching every goddamn thing? I mean, come on, man. Speed's not everything all the time. You also need, this is a reliable weapon that you plug him into the Saints offense that Drew Brees could trust this guy. You throw him the ball, he's going to catch that goddamn ball. He's going to catch the ball. Tyler Johnson is a special wide receiver. And I almost took Devin Duvernay here, who was super productive and a guy that could play inside, outside. But Tyler Johnson, to me, screamed the slot man. He would be the new slot man that the Saints didn't have from a guy like Willie Snead. Remember, Willie Snead couldn't break away. And later on in Lance Moore's career, he had injuries where he wasn't the speedster that he originally were. So, I mean, he would come in and complete that lineage of the great slot wide receivers that the Saints have had. And Tyler Johnson, trust me, he will be a great addition there. General Smurf says Jalen Reagor's a good one too. Yeah, I like Jalen Reagor too, General Smurf. That's a good pick. He wasn't available. I don't think he was available when I took. I actually like that. Thank you, Derek, for posting that link there. Let's keep it going here. Donovan says, son of a coach and a very hard worker. Plus, he has a chip on his shoulder because people doubt him. Does that sound familiar? What Saint you know has that mentality? Justin Huron was the other guy that took from Wake Forest, and you can see they compare him to really his red flags, he had an injury in 2018, ACL tear, but the guy has an upside. He's a really good pass blocker. They can work on his run blocking. But if you had issues, run blocking is probably the easier for an offensive lineman to do than pass blocking. This guy is a superb pass blocker. They can help him with his run blocking sufficiency. So he has 6'4", 301 pounds, and this guy could actually come in and help him and do some things. Like I said, he started for Wake Forest across 4 seasons. He bouncing back nicely from the ACL tear in 2018. There are positive components to his work and his pass protection in terms of how he frames rushers and keeps them at the end of his reach. He's patient and works to stay square on the perimeter while showcasing his adequate foot quickness. Now, Herron's lack of functional strength and body control in the running game are restrictive to creating vertical push. Herron profiles a developmental backup that offers versatility but may need to move inside at the next level. He projects best as a zone blocking run scheme, which we could use some of that down here. That's not bad. Now, those are things that, we can have our offensive line, which is our offensive line coaches are some of the best in the NFL. They get our offensive linemen ready to go. They can really do something with a guy like Justin Herron, a piece of clay like Herron. They can basically mold him into what they want. And this guy could really work for the Saints. And of course, my final selection was Dane Jackson. 6 feet cornerback, 180 pounds from the University of Pittsburgh. Very physical cornerback in the league. And it says his overall athleticism to the cornerback. I've seen this guy play a number of times. Physical. He does have that athleticism, has good size. And as every now and again, he has to work on his ball skills. He does tend to lose it, but this is a developmental cornerback that you can help it. He gets a little grabby at times. I ain't gonna say he got a little Ken Crawl. I ain't gonna jinx the man like that. But you know how some cornerbacks tend to grab at it a little bit. He has to work on his technique. He has good length for the position, but needs to do a better job of using it. And press at the line of scrimmage. He also needs to become consistent, more disciplined with his eyes, as he tends to keep them in the backfield for longer than he should off his man, which is things that a guy like Aaron Glenn could work with. They can work with helping this, but this guy, Dane Jackson, is a nice pickup for the 6th round pick. Of course, the Saints did not have a second or a 7th round pick, and this is my 3.0 mock draft. And I actually like this draft. You get Hurts. With the 3rd round pick, you get Tyler Johnson, a slot man, and you get Espinoza, the situational pass rusher. So those are three things right there that you can actually say, man, that go a long way in helping the team. I'm trying to tell you, if you don't get Everson Griffin, how about those guys? How about those guys to help you? What about that? That is actually a pretty decent draft, if I must say so myself. That is 3.0 mock draft. I just went and covered it. Now, what do you say? What are you thinking? It's your opportunity. You do your own mock draft and see what you can pick up to help the Black and Gold win. What are your thought processes on my draft? And of course, you can send me your draft and I will see about your draft. Go to the PRO Media Network at gmail.com. My boy Derek put the link in the chat at thedraftnetwork.com/mockdraftmachine. Go there, do your mock, and email it to me, and the team will post it on the community channel. I be doing a lot of things, family, and they do have other people that work with me here behind the scenes that help out in many different ways. Trust me, they do. And I really thank the hell out of them, man, because I couldn't do all this without them. General Smurf says Hurst in the 3rd is a steal. I know, fam. I know it fell just right, and it fits so much because with the pass rusher, the quarterback, and just those 3 top picks I made. Do you not understand how impactful those guys could be in the Saints offense come in the upcoming season? You get the pass rusher. None of these guys are going to break the bank. You get Espinoza with the 24th pick to come in and help the pass rush situation. That's a spot for him right now. You get the Jalen Hurts. There's a spot for him right now, and you can utilize him in your offense because he's athletic enough. You don't have to be one of those old quarterbacks that sit there and hold a clipboard. He's got athleticism too, just like Taysom. So imagine having Jalen Hurts and Taysom Hill in a 3-quarterback play. Well, Drew's there, and then you got Jalen here and Taysom here. I mean, that's just Sean Payton will just not know what to do with himself with that many weapons. And then, of course, you add Johnson in the mix, who's just a natural born slot man who catches everything, knows where to run. Man, come on, man. That's your weaknesses. That's all your weaknesses. Third wide receiver, reliable hands, great route running. Defensive end, edge rusher, Jalen Hurts there. Come on, man. Come on. That's you got it. Like General Smurf say, that's chip. Championship all day, baby. Championship. That's championship right there. Game over, championship. Don't even have to play the season. Just get a Saints the trophy. Give them the goddamn thing. But anyway, family, that'll do it for my mock draft 3.0. I'd like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for chiming in the live stream tonight. We had 2 live streams, part 1 and part 2. The first part is the Q&A section that we did earlier today. It was supposed to be the mock, but then the family members had so many questions. I enjoyed talking with the family today, answering the questions and whatnot. And then the second part of it was this mock draft right here, where we did the 3.0. For the first time. Remember the previous incarnations were tape drafts. I decided to do a live draft that kind of include the family in it. So I like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for all your support. Please feel free to hit the live button, family. Please feel free to hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe to the live stream. Right now, we're the Great Saints Think Tank. We're the #1 independent podcast in the land, and we'd like to do it big. So as well, this will let the family members know that if you like the live stream and enjoy the show, to become a member of the show or a patron of the show, go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Join several really great and fantastic Saints family members who are already there as Patreons to support the platform. If you're interested, patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. The information is there in hand. Also, just to let the family members know that the Sports Coma does have merchandise too. The link is in the description section below where you can purchase merch. There are over 30 plus designs available in the merchandise shop. On Saints gear, you can see some of the gear right there. You suck, go Saints, in different colors. Remember, we have our gear comes in various sizes for women, men, children, all kind of from the big sizes to the small sizes. Like I said, we have smartphone cover case, all kind of beautiful stuff that's available at the Pro Shop. The link is in the description section as well. And you can really, like I said, a lot of the proceeds go to help empower the platform. And that's what I do. Just take whatever, money's extra I got and I put it into the platform to improve the platform, because it means a lot to me to have the beautiful Black and Gold family members and to keep it going as usual. So thank you, family, for all that you do in this situation. So big ups to Scoob, who chiming in. Great stuff as usual, big homie. Listening from the Chief seats. Hey, Scoob. Who that to you, Scoob? Verlin. Who that to Verlin? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you in a live stream as well. Man, big ups to the family. So that's a few of the gear right there, family. Like I said, the link to go to the Pro Shop is in the description section. Feel free to go to the Pro Shop and check it out. It helps out the platform. Like I said, bunch of stuff, man. Smartphone cover cases, tees, all kind of stuff. You would not believe. I mean, dozens, literally hundreds of products are available at the Pro Shop. It helps out the platform exponentially. Over 5 years, over 500 episodes of the Sports Coma. We continue to go strong. We continue to go in. And like I said, tomorrow, our flagship day is usually Saturdays we're kind of usually at 12, but we're kind of experimenting with the hours, beta testing as it were right now in off season. We'll be coming at you tomorrow afternoon, Saturday. We'll have a special reporter guest chiming in from Who Dat Dish that'll be coming here to talk some Black and Gold, talk to you. Of course, you could be able to question them and ask them stuff. They'll come in dropping them some knowledge on the Saints, and they were kind enough to come in and talk to the family members. So we have them. We'll have several other guests that'll be coming to the show over the next 7 or 8 days or so, as we continue to kind of move the live stream along. Jesse Jackson, who that to you, big ups to you as well. So I'd like to thank all the beautiful Sports Coma family members, new and established, for chiming in on the mock draft portion of the 2-part show. We did one was a Q&A earlier. The second part was the mock draft, which we just did. And I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for chiming in the show tonight. And remember, Before I leave, I just want to give a positive word about all the stuff going on. We know what's going on in the world right now. We know everything's basically at a standstill. We know the situation in grocery stores, parks, and people are recommended to stay at home and wash their hands and all this kind of old stuff in here. And just remember, during this process, family, during this process, take this time and really kind of develop that relationship with the Most High. And I'm saying that on many levels. I say that to say because they're gonna put a lot of stuff to you right now coming up soon. And a lot of people are desperate. A lot of people lacking direction. And fear is the biggest tool used to push people into situations where they're not supposed to be. When you're in fear or in an over emotional state, which like fear, you opt to do things that you wouldn't do if you were in your right mind. So remember, it's a pandemic because pandemonium is a part of it. And pandemonium is an opportunity they use to push people somewhere. Remember what Rahm Emanuel said? One of his favorite things was, he always said, and it stuck with him, and most people remember Rahm Emanuel, he was the former mayor of Chicago. One of his favorite sayings that he always said was what was that saying? And I won't quote this verbatim. He says, never let a good crisis go to waste. I don't think like that, but some bitches out here do. Never let a good crisis go to waste. And you take that for what you want. But remember to stay cool, stay critical thinking, keep your eyes, your heart open, and keep yourself under control. Now's the time, develop that relationship, pray. You don't have to be a priest with 7 degrees to talk to the Creator. There ain't no toll booth between you and the Creator. Talk to him. Talk to it. Some people think it's a woman. Some people think whoever you think is, talk to your Creator, develop that relationship is all I'm saying. Because in that, you'll get the guidance and wisdoms that you need. Because it's only thing you're doing is tapping into something that's a little higher than yourself. And you're gaining the knowledge and you gaining the appeasement that we need. Because remember, like I said, in these times, people do silly stuff because they're not thinking. You cannot let that get over you. Stay calm, stay in your righteous mind, and things will be fine. You're too bright, too strong, too beautiful, too magnificent to succumb to any of this. So stay strong, stay focused, and stay awesome, man. Stay awesome. Stay awesome. That's what I got to say. So thank y'all, man, for chiming in. I love y'all. Keep y'all heads up. I'll see y'all tomorrow afternoon on the Saturday show. So make sure you chime that in. I'm going to have one of the family members, one of the staff members to put out the notification probably tonight so y'all know when it'll come. Like I said, we have a guest that'll be chiming in. So thank all y'all for all the beautiful things that y'all do. Stay up, stay strong, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talk indeed. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.